Good evening, Raman. We're testing 1 2, testing 1 2,
Testing 1 2 1 2, testing 1 2 1 2,
1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8.
9 10 11 12 13 14 15.
Let's go. Let's go.
Against an Oakleigh Cannon side celebrating game 150 for the talismanic striker, the number 10, Joe Guest. Hello and welcome to the penultimate round of NPL Victoria, coming away live from Olympic Village. My name is Steve Curtin, and it's my absolute pleasure tonight to be joined by the one, the only, Mark Ivkovic. Good evening, Ivka.
Good evening, Steve. I don't know about the one and only, but yeah, massive game here tonight at Olympic Village. We both thought that we were going to be on the other side with that beautiful scaffold everyone can see on the camera, but the conditions are terrible here tonight, and nonetheless we're in the grandstand, so it should be a very interesting clash between, you know, two of the title or grand final contenders really for this season.
Absolutely, Mark. Let's take a look at the lineups, and for John Anastasiadis, there's 4 changes to the side that swept the Western Sydney Wanderers of the A-League away 3-0 on Tuesday evening in the Australia Cup round of 16. Max Basetto, Asahi Yokokawa, Mo Aidara and Ryan Lethlean all come back into the starting 11 that features Yaron Souza in goal, Fletcher Fulton, Lethlean, Ben Collins, Anthony Theodoropoulos in defence, Akel Raffi, Aidara and Yokokawa in the central midfield areas, Basetto, McGowan on the wings, and the leading scorer, Bull Juarch, who was in fine form here on Tuesday, leading the line. Space on the bench tonight for Dalibor Markovic, who makes a return to the matchday squad. Also, Johnny Apostolopoulos, Chock Dow, Peter Klaassen, Ethan Sardalis, and Ryan Govan. There's one change for Chris Taylor's side, the Oakleigh Cannons, who haven't played any football for 2 weeks. It sees Cam McGilp come back into the starting 11 at the expense of Connor Hampson, who drops out of the matchday squad altogether. Jack Wachowski continues in goal. Matthew Dench is expected to drop back to left back. It's a defence also containing Ajak Dayu, Jordan Hall and Brodie Boyce. Cam McGilp, Noah Holmes in midfield with Joe Guest in the number 10 role, playing NPL game 150 tonight. Kingsley Sinclair gets the chance to move out to the flank. Asad Kasumovic down the right-hand side, and through the middle is Adam Juratovic. On the bench, Nick Feely, Jacob Tratt, Alex Salmon returned to the matchday squad as well on the bench. Campbell Strong on the bench, as well as Thomas Ellis and Drados and Roy Gregory. We're underway tonight. Our match referee is Uga Arslan, and we see the Cannons in their chain strip, all white. They're playing to the southern road end of the venue, the scoreboard end, the left of the screen, and the Burgers in their home kit playing to the club rooms and the northern end of this venue here at Catalina Street. It's been a wet night and it's been a wet afternoon as well. Some really heavy rain has passed through Melbourne suburbs today around 5 o'clock especially. As we see an early attack here, Theodoropoulos getting forward from the right back position, asking some questions of that defence of the Cannons. It's in by McGowan, a little bit overhit. You can see the droplets of water spinning off that ball as it fizzed through the air. Here's Fulton picking up the loose ball, and they're going to recycle and go again here. Lethlean and Collins combining. Oh, you can see how heavy the track is there, Mark. It is very wet in a few spots in the middle of the park, and that could affect the way Heidelberg try and possess the football tonight.
Yeah, I think the conditions will definitely suit Oakleigh, especially with the way they like to play. With a more direct approach, it might be a bit hard for Heidelberg to zip it around. It's very patchy, these big areas of water as well on the pitch. You know, some spots look like it's flowing nicely, but then, as you could see with that Collins touch, it just stopped dead.
Yeah, it looks $1 million from here, but yeah, it was like a bucket of water had been dumped on the left boot there of Ben Collins. No doubt he's got the screw-in studs tonight. He's going to need them out there. Of course, no Sebit Noor and Anthony Lesiotis both picking up 5th yellow cards of the season in that blockbuster game 13 days ago at Avenger Park. We won't remind the Heidelberg fans how that one ended. But they can still put their best foot forward with a win here and put the pressure on Avondale, who have that slightly better goal difference. They both sit on equal points, on 55 points with 2 games remaining. This penultimate round of NPL Victoria, and then, of course, the concurrent matches in round 26, all taking place at 3 o'clock next week. That should be a beauty as well, because there could be live permutations for the top 6 and maybe the relegation spots and the title as well. The Premier's played at least.
Well, and for seedings, really, in the finals too, it's a must-win game for Oakleigh. Preston, if they can get a result tonight and Oakleigh don't get all 3 points, you know, they're just on. They'll be 1 point off Oakleigh going into that final day of the season. So, you know, must win for Oakleigh to shore up that home final.
Good ball in by Dench. A little bit too close to Souza, who's quick to get the ball rolling again. It's Bassetto, who started on the bench on Tuesday night. He's full of running. Look at the turn of pace here from Max Bassetto. Still he goes, Bassetto. Oh, sliding in well. It's a good challenge to deny Bassetto by Brodie Boyce. Brodie Boyce lining up at right back. That's a good duel. Bassetto and Boyce going toe-to-toe over there on the far side of the venue.
Heidelberg will look to get off to a good start early in this game. You know, especially with the conditions, heavy pitch. They're gonna feel it in the second half. You know, usually they steamroll teams towards the back end of the game, and they are by far the fittest team in the competition. But your body can only take so much. It's been a very heavy workload for them over the past 7 to 10 days. So they'll look to probably have a flying first half, really. They'd want to take the lead early in this game to just able to conserve their energy.
Well, we'll see if they can get the runs on the board. Mark, how do you feel the absence of player of the quality of Anthony Lesiotis affects the Burgers tonight when they're already missing Jamal Ali?
Yeah, huge loss. Lesiotis is the linchpin of that midfield for Heidelberg, and his work rate on and off the ball is sensational. But as we saw during the week in the Cup game, it doesn't really matter who comes in or out for this Heidelberg side. They're so well coached by Johnny Anastasiadis that you know, every player knows their role. They know the system inside out. You know, with Idara sitting a bit deeper there as well tonight, and Akil Rafi sitting there, I'm sure he knows what he needs to do to replace Lesiotis in the midfield.
Well, a good chance for some of these players like Akil Rafi and Jay McGowan as well, who were saying, not sure if he's actually started in a league game this season. Jay McGowan's been so good coming off the bench, and I guess that's been a strength of Johnny A's team this year, hasn't it, Mark? Their ability to have such a good amount of depth and keeping everyone happy, and those players coming off the bench, the game changers or the finishers, if you like, some of the terminology thrown around these days, but they're just as important as some of those players in the starting 11, of course, these days. That's
where they might struggle tonight, because this is probably the weakest bench they've had all season. You know, these guys like McGowan and Rafi, you know, they're used to coming on and being those impact players. Tonight, it's a little bit of lack of depth on that bench with all the outs that they've got.
Good header by Boyce on the far side, picked up by Bassetto. He couldn't bring it under his spell. Had a play. The rain has eased up a little bit here, so we might have dry football, at least from the heavens, for most of the remainder of the match. But as we said just a moment ago, sections of this pitch, which looks an absolute picture from here, very sodden and a few big puddles in the middle for the players to avoid. Collins sliding in there. There's Adam Juratovic, and he's going to get a little talking to here from Ugar Arslan.
I don't think there was much in that challenge. It's a difficult game to referee for Arslan out there, because you know, some challenges are going to be heavy that aren't intentional just because of the conditions.
Wet weather football coming away Friday night. NPL Victoria action on the NPL Victoria live stream. Steve Curtin and Mark Ivkovic with you, and we're certain to see many more sliding challenges as the 90 minutes continues here. Here's Collins. Lethlean, who came off the bench the other night, speaking with one of the fans here, one of the most underrated players in the competition this season, as Rafi wins the foul. You'd probably agree with those sentiments, Mark.
Yeah, he's been sensational. You know, that partnership him and Collins have formed throughout the season. That's why they've got the best defensive record in the competition.
Oh, Yokokawa going to ground. Can't believe he didn't get the foul to go his way. Souza reading the long ball best. So that midfield of Oakleigh with McGilp and Holmes. Those two players, we haven't seen them side by side in the double pivot very much this season. Holmes missing a lot of games through injury, so interesting to see how those two combine, because there's a lot of potential there between two players. Holmes maybe a little bit the younger side, McGilp a little bit more experienced, but potential to form a good combination, those two.
Well, you would say with Guest in there in the midfield as well, that's probably their strongest midfield that they've got available.
Well, here's the opportunity for Theodoropoulos. Top of the box, Yokikawa was there. Well, Rafi might have used his arm there. Play on's the call. The goal would have stood had a shot transpired and the ball gone in. Kasumovic, who's started down the left-hand side tonight, he's fouled there by McGowan.
A hostile atmosphere tonight at Olympic Village.
Well, the fans are in good voice despite the conditions being a little unsavoury tonight and the weather-wise. And that was the case as well. A lot of rain fell during the match here on Tuesday. Like it was raining for much, if not all, of the 90 minutes on Tuesday. Juratovic running in the channel. Left lean. Well played by left lean again. He finds Basetto. Good press from Joe Guest. Still going strong, of course. The 31-year-old in game number 150 of NPL Victoria. Big congratulations to Joe Guest. Hopefully there's many more to come. But, yeah.
Big congratulations to him. Probably the best import player that we've had in the NPL era, I would say, Joe Guest.
His 7th season with the club. He's basically become Mr. Oakleigh Cannons, hasn't he? He's not only that, he's possibly also Mr. NPL Victoria. We like to claim him as our own. Here's Yokikawa bringing it down really well on the chest, running at that Oakleigh defence. It's hooked away by Brodie Boyce on the far post. McGill wrestling for it, combining with Sinclair. Good pocket of space here for Joe Guest, the man we were just speaking about. He's had some battles with injury this season, we understand. He's had to play a few matches when he's not been 100% fit, but he's managed to feature in all but one game so far this season. Here's Kasumovic. Oh, and he's just skewed the cross a little bit there, slicing it across the ball and out of play. Good opportunity there for Kasumovic.
Very good opportunity. Poor delivery. Didn't have his boundaries right there. Didn't know exactly where he was on the pitch. I think just way too deep, that ball.
Taken short here, and it's a little bit risky on this slippery track here. Heidelberg managed to play through, and Rafi's through ball, well, that was a little bit too vertical, and it's going to run all the way through to Jack Wachorski. Nick Feely on the bench again tonight. Wachorski recently turned 21 during the week, so belated birthday greetings to Jack Wachorski, the mid-season signing. Oh, Collins with the intervention in front of Souza that Souza perhaps wasn't expecting, and the diving header at the near post goes behind. So end-to-end stuff on a heavy 8 here. We're not at Flemington though, we're at Olympic Village. A lot of rain falling, and it's certainly affecting the play, but that was a good attempt there from Juratovic. Got himself parallel to the ground there, just about, Mark.
Yeah, they're starting to gather some ground in that forward area, Oakleigh. It's a couple of times down the last 2 minutes that they've had some good opportunities. It's an interesting stat I just had a look at there, Steve. I don't think the Oakleigh fans will be too happy to hear. They have not won away from Jack Edwards Reserve since they beat South Melbourne at Lakeside in round 13. So they haven't won an away game in the second half of the season.
Well, if there was ever a time to do it, get some momentum going into the playoffs, this is the time to do it. 2 rounds to go for them. And they've got that team you just mentioned. They've got South Melbourne in the final round. They've got a friendly game coming up against the Melbourne Victory on Tuesday night too, taking place at Jack Edwards. Maybe the new grandstand could even be open for Tuesday night, Mark. Who knows?
Yes, we'll be eagerly awaiting that one. And that's why it's crucial that they do get a result tonight, Oakleigh, because with that away form, they really wouldn't fancy themselves going away from Jack Edwards in in the final series.
Well, this is a good ball through to find Adam Djuratovic running at left lane, gets onto the left foot at the back post. Oh, the interception there was from Theodoropoulos. Appeals for a back pass. Hugo Arslan says it was all accidental.
That is superb defending there. If he did not get to that ball, Kasumovic was lurking at that back stick, would have been 1-0 Oakleigh. Jeez, Theodoropoulos read that superbly well.
That was some through ball by Cam McGilp to set up Adam Djuratovic there. And well, just for a moment there, it looked a little bit nervy for the Burgers at the back post area.
So the conditions played into their hands. Really was able to get a fair bit of distance on that slide, and the ball held up.
He slid about 3 metres. We've got a goal around the grounds at Naciol Stadium. Hume City have taken the lead against Melbourne Victory on 14 minutes. 3 games, all running concurrently tonight. Now the match we haven't mentioned is still 0-0 between Green Gully and Preston out there at Keilor Downs. It was an enthralling battle last time these sides met. Joe Guest opened the scoring for Oakleigh, and it was the Burgers who came home with a wet sail. Jay McGowan coming off the bench to score, and then a spot kick converted by Bourgeois.
Yeah, Oakleigh dominated that game. I remember watching that one right up until Heidelberg equalised. You know, Oakleigh had chance after chance. Heidelberg never looked in that game, and then still found a way to win it 2-1.
Good bit of space here for Moe Dara. Unlucky not to be on the score sheet in the Doherty Cup final on Saturday. It may have been offside potentially against Bourgeois had he got on the end of that one, but it ran all the way through to Wachowski.
Again, referring back to the conditions, but those areas there, that's where it's going to hurt Heidelberg tonight, this wet pitch, because they're so dangerous with those little intricate passes on the edge of the area. That's how they tend to score most of their goals. Those passes ain't going to work tonight on this pitch. They're just going to be way too heavy.
So for the coaching staff in the pre-match address, is it a lot of fundamentals, focus on doing the simple things well, back to basics a little bit on nights like this?
Yeah, just don't make any errors really. Just probably get it away from your goal as far as possible, and don't let the ball bounce would be the key instruction.
Cleared away by Ajak Dayu. Good intervention there, Fletcher Fulton, and keeps the ball in play as well, so he can attempt to turn defence into attack here. There's plenty of space in front of him. Holmes was in to close down Adara.
Another underrated player for Heidelberg this season, Fletcher Fulton. You could tell he was missing in that Avondale game a couple of weeks ago.
No doubt about it. It's like he's got a new lease on life, playing as a left back, is the right-sided former winger from Moreland City. Here he is taking the throw and playing the 1-2. Well, it's a heavy touch by Theodoropoulos, but it's possession retained by the Burgers. Here's McGowan. He's got Dench to beat. Dench back playing in his natural left back position. He's been thrust further up the field as a left winger to accommodate both Hampson and Dench in the matchday squads in the starting 11, should I say, this season. But no Connor Hampson there tonight, so a good opportunity for Dench to show his wares in his preferred position. But he's conceded the corner kick here, and the first set-piece opportunity presents for Heidelberg. Sai Yokokawa, so good in these situations in consistently delivering good quality balls to the tall men in the box. Collins and left lean of forward. And it's away by Ajak Dayu. Djuratovic, good footwork as well there. He finds Guest. The counter-attack is just subdued by Guest, who ends up putting the ball out of play. Him and Dench not on the same page. And McGowan's given away the foul there against Ajak Dayu. Just put the arm around the shoulder, I fancy, and a good decision, I think, there, Mark, from the assistant referee.
Yeah, he saw that really well, the assistant referee. You can hear the displeasure from the Heidelberg crowd, but it was all over him, McGowan. Right in front of the assistant referee as well. He was quick to flag for that.
It is John White and Luke Vira assisting Ugar Arslan tonight. Fourth official is Daniel Woodyard over on the far side of the pitch. Look at Holmes there winning the ball back, but he's given it straight back to Fulton. Fulton charging forward. That's a good through ball to find Basetto as well. He's looking in the middle. Bourgeois is there. Basetto still going his own way. And McGowan with the instep. Oh, it was well blocked by a wall of white shirts there. It almost opened up for Jay McGowan.
What a pass from Fulton into Basetto. That's just, again, signs of a well-drilled team. Didn't even have to look up. No, knew Basetto was making that run.
Yeah, absolute defence splitter from Fletcher Fulton. Here's Theodoropoulos. Didn't say anything he liked ahead of him, so he decides to just go laterally. And there's 11 bodies from Oakleigh behind the ball here, saying you can try your best to break us down. Look like they're happy to play someone on the break tonight, the Cannons. Here's the pace of Juradovic up top. Kasumovic in the wide areas. He's Guest. It's a good ball for Kasumovic as well. And here is the South Aussie running at Moe Dara, who's covering for Theodoropoulos, who'd push further up the park. Guest keeps it in play. Dara is going to be able to walk it out of defence. So it's just a little bit cagey so far in the opening 19 minutes of play. No team has really generated a shot in anger thus far. Left lane advancing over the halfway line. Fulton again. And Raffy combining. Plenty of possession for the men in the yellow shirts. But having a little bit of trouble breaking down this well-organised Oakleigh Cannons defence. Well played by Dench. He finds Kasumovic. Here's McGilp. Calm and composed.
Did really well there, Dench. McGowan, excellent first touch to bring it down, but Dench just stuck with him and won that ball quite comfortably.
Dench, he does seem to be enjoying playing in his most familiar position, the left back. Here's a little bit of space for Adara, who tries to find Nokikawa, who goes to ground, and Ugar Arslan is pointed straight to the penalty spot. Oh, that was a close call there, but there was not much hesitation. Good ball in behind. Check that one again on our replay screen there, Mark.
Great ball by Adara, another one of those penetrating passes. I think it was a clumsy challenge there from Jow. Didn't really need to throw his body across him like that. Thought from first glance it looked like a penalty. And look, you know, Heidelberg's been on the receiving end of some questionable decisions over the past fortnight, so I'm sure they'll be happy to take that one.
Well, it presents the opportunity for Bourgeois to score his 19th goal in the NPL Victoria season. An incredible strike rate. He's also got 3 in the cup competitions. Or 4 if you include both of the goals from Tuesday night. One of them looked like it might have come back off the Wanderers defender. But it's going to be Bourgeois against Wachowski, and he scored against Feely last time these sides met. Can he do it again here from 12 yards? It's Bourgeois, saved by Wachowski. Spread himself well. And what a top effort by the young goalkeeper. Impressive stuff from Jack Wachowski. He turned 21 last week, and he's coming of age tonight.
It's a great save, got down low. Not easy in these conditions. Bourgeois hit that with a lot of power. Great save in the end. Right in the corner too.
Really read it well.
To stretch himself, obviously gets the right way, but still not easy to save when it's going right in the corner with that power.
So the chance is squandered from long distance off the crossbar from Yokikawa. Well, that's the kind of form he's in, that he can take on the shot from there. It was a speculative effort. Not many players at this level would have the confidence to try and beat the keeper from a situation like that. A snapshot from 35 yards. And Wachowski would have been beaten only moments after a brilliant penalty save. It was right in front of the technical area there on the far side, some way out. Impressive stuff from Yokokawa. One for the highlights reel, not the goals reel, but wow, what a moment that could have been.
Jeez, how well did he hit that, Steve, with power as well, and to get that dip on it. It's no wonder Wachowski was scrambling back, and it was no chance to save it. He wasn't even that far off his line, really. No. But Yokokawa just saw that little distance that he had to play with. Thought, why not? Very unfortunate that didn't go into the back of the net.
Just shows you the quality of Yokokawa, a speed of thought that he has to assess the situation and make the decision and execute there, all in a split second. It's just really impressive. And, well, he's another one of these players that Heidelberg have at their disposal that, when he's playing like that, is worth the price of admission to see him out there alone.
It would have been a great way to respond from the penalty miss.
Absolutely.
It's going to be interesting to see the next 5-10 minutes from Heidelberg. You know, they'll feel like the world's against them at the moment. You know, with the few decisions that have gone against them in big games the past few weeks. Yes, bounced back well against West Sydney, but you know, scheduling nightmare with that game, and now again tonight playing. You know, a few days later, and then they've got to back it up again in the quarterfinals of the Australia Cup on Tuesday night. So, you know, they would feel like the world's against them. Now a penalty miss in a big game. They really need to respond well mentally.
Well, nothing separates these two sides yet. Bourgeois unable to make the most of the penalty won by Sai Yokokawa against Ajak Dayu on the slippery track. I always find it a little bit more tricky to take the spot kicks when the surface is super sodden underneath your feet. I feel like it gives the goalkeeper a little bit more of an opportunity at making the save, but taking nothing away from an amazing penalty stop from Jack Wachowski when I say that.
Yeah, right. You would feel a little bit not steady with that wet ground underneath. It wasn't a poor penalty from Bourgeois. He hit that well with pace and got the right angle off it as well. Just a great penalty save.
Well, Heidelberg have got to put that behind him and try and find a way to grab themselves a goal before half-time and get the edge on the Oakleigh Cannons.
Interesting to see how the Oakleigh defence responds to that too. That was twice in a minute that they got sliced open with those penetrating passes from the middle of the park.
So they've been solid in the opening 20 minutes, but as you mentioned, some quality incisive through balls by the Burgess midfielders, and now it's an opportunity here for Oakleigh to enjoy a little bit of possession and try and get something going forward. Here's McGill. Out wide is Guest. Further afield is Kingsley Sinclair, who's been released to play in the front three tonight instead of central midfield. He has been the Swiss Army knife for Chris Taylor this season as Kingsley Sinclair. His Holmes. Kasumovic. Ajak Dayu, who would have been another player who would have breathed a sigh of relief when he saw the spot kick saved by Jack Wachowski. Out wide is Sinclair, getting the ball in early, and Aaron Souza putting his name on that one.
He struggled to penetrate that Heidelberg defence with balls into the area from those areas of the pitch. Ben Collins and Lethlean will just eat those up all night. The Oakleigh tends to play that kind of style of football with those deep crosses into the area, but it's going to be hard to really get past those two twin towers at the back.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see Kasumovic and Sinclair switch flanks at some point. Big fan of Kasumovic's crossing from the right flank. He put in an absolutely devastating cross for that goal by Joe Guesswet last time these sides met. Just the sound of it off the boot was absolute perfection. Really good low ball in. He's really good at getting those sort of crosses into the box, and maybe playing on the left-hand side takes away that aspect of his game a little bit.
Yeah, well, and the blessing for Oakleigh tonight is the return of Alex Salmon on the bench. It's a huge inclusion for them. You know, they can stay in touching distance with Heidelberg throughout the evening. So have him come on for the last 30-20 minutes.
Just from that Oakleigh point of view, sitting in fourth place going into this match, 5 points behind third place Dandenong Thunder, but We'll just pause that thought for the moment because Basetto's going to fire the shot. It's saved by Wyshorski. It almost fell to Paul Jouach, who was waiting like a predator in the 6-yard box.
Another great save from Wyshorski. Basetto hit that blindly. I think he was expecting a shot from where he was. Reacted really well to that.
He must have seen it late as well, but Wyshorski might be a bit of a mudlark. He's enjoying playing in the wet conditions. Here's the opportunity here. The low ball in. Guest was there. Oh, in fact, it was Juratovic. And they're going to win themselves a corner kick here.
Unorthodox goalkeeping there from Sousa to win that challenge. But I always found I was a goalkeeper myself back in the day, Steve, and always enjoyed playing in wet conditions. I preferred when it was raining and the pitch was wet. You just felt like the ball, the way it would skid into you, it was an easier reflex action. You knew the ball was always going to come at pace, no matter what shot power there was. I just found it easier to goalkeep in the wet conditions.
Well, that's certainly working for both the goalkeepers out there tonight. So locked at 0-0. Paul Jouach with the clearance. A little unorthodox, but Fulton picks up the back post, but he's giving it straight to Sinclair.
How about the spray off the ball when he took that corner?
Droplets flying everywhere. What a good cross it was into the box to the previous attack by Oakleigh to set up the corner kick opportunity by Boyce, overlapping as he did when he got himself on the score sheet in the last match that Oakleigh played in NPL Victoria. Oh, big foul there. Joe Guest sent a couple of feet up in the air. Theodoropoulos was the culprit. Now, it looks like Theodoropoulos and Fulton have actually switched the left back and right back role, so we haven't seen too much Fulton playing on his preferred right-hand side, so we'll keep an eye on that one, Mark, if we can see any tactical ideas from Johnny A as to why he's made that switch.
Perhaps maybe for Fulton to play that Jamal Ali style, you know, the inverted midfielder when they're in possession.
I'd love to see it if that happens. Big shoes to fill, that role. Not just that Jamal Ali does have big feet, but he's at his best. He seems to play the role of about 2.5 players out there.
Yeah, shame. You know, he played in that Doherty Cup final, recovering fairly quickly from a hamstring injury, and you know, by the looks of it, probably backfired him playing in that game. Missed the Australia Cup game during the week and not in the squad again tonight. Hopefully there hasn't been a recurrence of that injury. It's so crucial to the way they play, Jamal Ali. There's probably one player that you can't replace and have to change your system a little bit.
So important being able to come in and cover for Ben Collins as well in that situation on Saturday too, with him out suspended after getting the red card in the league. Fulton goes to ground. No foul. Jouach, he's got Basetto, who's swapped flanks in the attacking third, and he's flagged for moving a fraction too soon there. And the pressure release valve is pressed firmly there for the Cannons. So see Jordan Hall in the Cannons defence tonight, playing game number 100 in NPL Victoria. So another milestone for the Cannons tonight. 65 of those games with Green Gully, where he scored a couple of goals. He has 1 goal for the Cannons this year.
It's not a bad effort to reach 100 games. Missed a few seasons as well when he went into the A-League system with Melbourne City.
Yeah, he left Gully in 2021 to go to Melbourne City, only coming back, and what a contribution that he and Jacob Trapp made to that championship win last season. Both of them coming in the mid-season transfer window, and they were impenetrable in that back end of the home and away season in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, they were. They haven't had that same success this season, though. You see with Jacob Trapp's been dropped to the bench for the past month, really hasn't been able to work his way back into the squad post that Melbourne Knights game where they drew 3-3 in a bit of a nightmare game that night. So hasn't been able to get back into the squad since then.
Spacetto picking up the loose ball. Bourgeois looking to make amends for that penalty miss. Good defending by Ajak Day to pick up the loose ball and release Boyce. And then Sinclair is full of running to take on Theodoropoulos. Can he get a good ball in? His guest just about finding space for the shot, but he plays it through to Sinclair and he's blasted it over the crossbar. What an opportunity. It all just opened up there for Kingsley Sinclair and he can't believe he hasn't scored.
Jeez, he's got to hit the target from there, Steve. What a pass from Joe Guest. We'll talk about penetrating passes. That's one of the best ones we've seen. Got to do better in that situation, Kingsley Sinclair. Got to hit the target.
And just the unselfishness of Guest there as well to look to play that pass. You've seen other players in this competition might have taken on the shot there as well. He was looking to slide that ball through the Heidelberg defence, which he did to perfection.
His eyes probably lit up. Couldn't believe that he had that much space to work with. It's probably the best chance of the game.
So just over 10 minutes till half-time. First half racing by. It's the defences that are winning at the moment. 0-0 in round 25 between Heidelberg and the Oakleigh Cannons. And Heidelberg are going to get themselves a corner here. Good running by Jouarch.
Smart play as well to just knock it into the Oakleigh defender and win a corner. Wasn't really going anywhere in that situation.
Let's see what they've rehearsed for this set-piece opportunity. They haven't had too much time to train this week. They've just been playing games exclusively, haven't they, really? 3 games in the space of 7 days. Saturday, Tuesday, Friday. A crazy schedule for these Heidelberg players. When you think of that, it's a real credit to them that they're out there putting in the performance that they've put in so far. It could have been a goal ahead in another set of circumstances. Here's Yokokawa. He signals to play it to the back post. That's where he goes. It swings out a little bit too far, perhaps. It almost falls for Collins, who goes to ground. Was his heels clipped there, Ben Collins? He thinks they might have been. Or were the appeals a little half-hearted? Oh, he's got a shove there from Ajak Dayu, who says, come on, mate, get up and get on with it.
First glance on that one, it looked like he milked that one a little bit. Made sure he jumped in front of him and, made the most out of that situation.
And I think his body language as he left the scene of the incident sort of suggested that a fraction as well. Didn't seem completely sold himself.
I don't think the referee was ever going to give it in that situation, especially when he's just given a penalty 10 minutes earlier.
So Ben Collins' penalty shout is denied. He was going away from goal anyway. There wasn't much incentive to put the challenge in as far as the Oakleigh Cannons defenders were concerned. Here's Lethlean playing forward, looking for Bacetto in heavy traffic. Holmes wins it back. Good combination, pressure from Holmes and Guest to win the ball back there. And there's a stopping play here as well. Ugo Arslan is having a chat to some of the Oakleigh midfielders to try and sort out an issue that's presented itself out there. It's going to be a free kick taken quickly. Guest under pressure from Bacetto. The home crowd not sure what to make of this one so far. Holmes. Daoud and Dench. Kasumovic, he's forced back by Theodoropoulos, who looks like he's moved back to the right back position. Fulton back to the left back role. Fulton on Sinclair. There's another match-up to watch. Sinclair, another player who can only assume prefers playing in that wide role in the front three, gets to play there again today for the first time in a hell of a long time as he's been lining up in central midfield. Look at this ball to find him here from Kasumovic. Oh, and they were lining up there in the white shirts too.
Just didn't read it. Made a great run, Kingsley Sinclair, and what a ball from Kasumovic, but just probably that 1 centimetre off.
Yokokawa, end-to-end stuff here. McGowan on the overlap. Well in Cam McGill. Gives away the corner, but it was a really good bit of covering from the central midfielder.
He's found a bit of life this game now.
There's a bit of a buzz in the crowd all of a sudden. You feel like there might be a goal coming, and it could be for either team. It's fairly end-to-end stuff despite the heavy track. Locked at 1-1 at Hume City, at Nassau Stadium. Hume City 1, Melbourne Victory 1 over there. No goals here, no goals at Green Gully and Preston either. Yokokawa, his last delivery let him down a fraction. Could he potentially find Lethlean here? Lethlean looking for his first goal of the season. Away by Ajak Day, who attacked that ball, and perfect textbook defensive header. Back the way it came and out of play.
That's a superb header. That's how to clear lines.
Right out of the coaching manual, that one. Headed by Dench, finds Guest. Raffy picking up the loose ball. So just over 5 minutes to go till half-time. Who do you think's had the better of this one? Is it Heidelberg the obvious answer, or has Oakleigh Cannons been good value for it, Mark?
Heidelberg's probably had the better of the play, but Oakleigh's probably, besides the penalty, Oakleigh's probably had the better of the chances. Kingsley Sinclair with that golden opportunity to take the lead probably 5 minutes ago. And then that half chance he just had just before.
Here's Adara. You can see that well-organised wall of white shirts. There's only about 5 metres between the defensive line of 4 and the midfield line of 4. Theodoropoulos is onside here. Good control as well. It bounced awkwardly. He's got Dench to beat. Good turn, Adara. Oh, good little diagonal ball as well. Looking for Fulton, who'd make the run inside from left back. Maybe he's trying to play that Jamal Ali role.
Yeah, I'd say that he's probably more capable of doing it than Anthony Theodoropoulos. He did play that, Theo, against Avondale, did quite well playing that Jamal Ali role in that game.
McGowan hasn't been as busy as he might have liked on his starting appearance with the Burgers tonight, as he is when he comes on off the bench, and seems to do a lot in a short amount of time when he comes on as an impact player.
Started well the first 20-25 minutes, but kind of faded out the past 10-15 minutes.
He's Guest. McGill. Oh, he almost threaded that through to Kasumovic. Well picked off. All the Burgers look to go quickly here. Patience is the order of the day. Raffy, the mid-season signing.
Unlucky Heidelberg. Adara cut that pass off. Kasumovic was away then.
Looks like Akil Raffy, who has been tasked with that Lesiotis role, and that pass is horribly misplaced. Not something we normally see from this Heidelberg side.
Sign of fatigue there, I think, Steve.
Yeah, we might have to let them off given the 3 fixtures in 7 days. And high-profile fixtures as well. A cup final just the week after that top-of-the-table clash that went for 104 minutes, conceding in the 103rd.
And the players are probably enjoying not having to train, but mentally preparing for a game every 3 days it's quite difficult, especially for the coaching staff. To review the previous game, prepare for the next game, who's available, who's fit enough, what are their loads. It's a lot of work.
Even the sides in the A-League never really get faced with situations like this. Yes, granted, they have had to make trips to Asia, but usually those midweek games are spaced out a little bit more than this. Heidelberg are back in action again on Tuesday night in the Australia Cup quarterfinals. So it's another quick turnaround when they play Wellington Phoenix here on Tuesday, and I can only assume that this match wasn't pushed back to Saturday or Sunday because of that particular fixture coming so soon on Tuesday.
And don't forget these players all got to get up the next day and go to work as well. You know, juggling 3 games in 7 days on top of your day job and your personal family life wouldn't be easy for these guys.
No, it's not something for the faint-hearted, that's for sure. As in the shadows of half-time here, it's almost like as if both sets of players are keen to play out time until we hear the referee's whistle to send them down the tunnel. They might have the beach towels out to dry themselves down a little bit when they get inside.
There's that certain area of the pitch there where Ben Collins is. That whole area is just so saturated.
That's right, in that middle part of the field, and it's probably why we've seen some of the players looking to maybe bypass that area, playing down the flanks, playing over the top, avoiding the corridors a little bit.
This is the benefit of the way Heidelberg likes to play football is, yes, they would be tired out there, but they retain possession so well that they don't have to continually chase after the ball. They can preserve their energy whilst they're retaining possession.
And that's probably another reason why they do look so fit and run out games so well. They're not chasing shadows out there for half of the game. Can they strike before half-time here? Yokokawa popping up in the wide area on the left foot. And he used it to deadly effect on Saturday in the Doherty Cup final. He wasn't able to do so from the wide area there coming in. Kasumovic giving chase was never going to be able to track down that ball before it crossed the touchline.
He fancies a goal tonight, Yokokawa, doesn't he?
Well, if you miss that shot from around 35 yards earlier in the first half, do yourself a favour, go back and take a look at that one in the half-time interval. Back off the crossbar, only about 90 seconds after Jack Wachowski had just made a great save of a Bourgeois penalty. McGowan, decent ball in, and it's away by Boyce, only as far as Raffy. Fulton. They're just looking a little bit more likely all of a sudden, Heidelberg. Boyce's header. Oh, it's going to be kept in play just about, but not quite. It did cross the byline. Yokokawa, as he tried to launch with the outside of the foot and get the ball into the 6-yard box.
Surprised he didn't keep it in.
He did the hard work making the ground, actually. Just the solitary minute to be added on at the end of the 45. The fans here are happy with that as they prepare for their halftime mission over to the canteen, the kitchen and the bar. We are now into that solitary minute. Here's Collins. Is there time for one last attack before the break? Raffy. He's got Theodoropoulos out wide. Oh, and he tried to thread the pass between the fullback and the winger there. Udara sliding in. Ugo Arslan's going to put the whistle to the mouse, and that will be half-time. Looked at 0-0 between Heidelberg United and the Oakleigh Cannons. Bourgeois missing the opportunity from the penalty kick. Kingsley Sinclair with the chance for Oakleigh. He fired over. They end 0-0. Final thoughts on that first half, Mark?
Probably on the balance of play, both sides deserve to be going into the break level. The Bourgeois had that penalty opportunity, and Kingsley Sinclair with that big opportunity. So both sides just feeling each other out. I think it's going to be a end-to-end second half.
Let's go.
Welcome back to Olympic Village. It's 0-0 between Heidelberg United and the Oakleigh Cannons in the penultimate round of the season. Friday night football coming away on the NPL Victoria live stream. Steve Curtin with you tonight and alongside me. Welcome back to the broadcast position. He's been up to try some of the local scran here. He's enjoyed it. He got an express lane service as well. Mark Ivkovic, welcome back.
Thank you, Steve. Yes, nice quick feed at half time. It was a quick first half, wasn't it? It was end to end. Probably what you expect in a big game like this. Hopefully the second half is the same as the first. Yeah,
there was no messing about, even by the fourth official over there. Just 1 minute of time added from Daniel Woodyard, and that was strictly adhered to by Ugo Arslan. And the players are back out there now for the second half. No change to the starting 11s for either side. So that sees the Birds continuing with Souza in goal, Fulton, left lane, Collins, Theodoropoulos in defence, Aidara, Rafi and Yokokara in midfield, Basetto, McGowan on the flanks, Buljuarchu had his spot kick saved by Jack Wachowski, lining up top. Sorry.
Didn't see too much of Buljuarchu in that first half besides that penalty. Really, it was kind of non-existent.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of heavy traffic in that part of the field where he was operating in, and I guess that's a credit to the Oakleigh Cannons with the way they marshalled the most dangerous striker in the competition so well in that first 45. But can they continue to do it in this second half? Opportunity for the early ball in. Oh, good save, Souza, to deny Juratovic. Early ball in from Kasumovic over there on the far side, who's continuing to line up on the left flank.
Read that well, Souza. That's a trademark Oakleigh attack there. Ball into the box at that near post. Hit it well as well, Kasumovic.
On his non-preferred too, it looked like, so decent effort side Kasumovic. Here's Sinclair, operating on the right flank tonight. Enjoying a little bit more freedom perhaps than his central midfield role that we've seen him occupying for what feels like the entire season. Here's Dench receiving from Dayu. Up the line is that man Kasumovic, back to goal. He might win the free kick here. Well played by the South Aussie. Mentioned, if you have just joined us, that Oakleigh Cannons lineup is the same as we said in the first half. Wachowski in goal, Dench, Dayu, Hall in game 100 in NPL Victoria. Boyce, midfield of Holmes, McGilt and Guest. The front three, Sinclair, Juranovic, Kasumovic. Alex Salmon is the most notable name available on the bench to Chris Taylor. But we'll pause that thought because Sinclair's going to get the ball in, but it's all yellow shirts back there. The clearances made a little bit of a hash of, but Fulton gets it away. Doesn't want to go out and play that ball. Now it does.
Positive start to the second half for Oakleigh.
Well, whatever Chris Taylor said to him at half time, they've well and truly come out on the front foot. We've got a goal around the grounds at Nasiol Stadium. Melbourne Victory have come from a goal down to lead by 2-1, so maybe some connotations in the relegation battle if they're not dead and buried yet.
It's a big result if they can hang on to that lead.
Well, that will send a few shockwaves around at that bottom end of the table. Of course, Port Melbourne and the Altona Magic are playing a big match tomorrow afternoon at Paisley Park. Ball into the box, Souza punches away. Well played by the man in purple and picked up by Aidara. So, well, you have to say, Mark, as you pointed out, that the Cannons are causing one or two problems for this Heidelberg defence, especially down their left-hand side where Asad Kasumovic is operating.
Well, that's 3 entries into the penalty area in the opening 3 or 4 minutes. And twice Souza's had to be in the right place at the right time.
Souza really saving the day there. He didn't time that right. There could have been an altogether different outcome. Still locked at 0-0. Friday night football in NPL Victoria. Yokokawa just has a moment to assess his options and decides to play the easy ball back to Collins, and now Aidara, well marshalled by Joe Guest. Joe Guest would love a goal in NPL Victoria game number 150. This is a decent ball for Jouart. He's going to keep it in play, but he plays it straight to Hall. Now Holmes. Kasumovic tries the back heel, all class as well. He played a nice little 1-2 with Holmes, who's still in possession here. Noah Holmes charging through the middle of Olympic Village. This is great stuff from Noah Holmes, and now he finds Sinclair, who's got Boyce riding shotgun. This is Brodie Boyce, early ball into the box. Collins, that could have gone anywhere.
Great run from Boyce down that right-hand side. Could see him making that run right in front of us. Dangerous ball into the area. Could have gone anywhere off Collins' foot.
Well, Brodie Boyce really enjoying getting involved in the attack. Maybe he's been inspired by Jamal Ali as well, because it was that overlapping attack that he made in that last match against the Altona Magic, and he stayed forward and ended up getting on the end of the dent cross to head home his first goal in NPL Victoria.
It's clear what the instructions were at halftime for Oakleigh, just get more balls into the area.
And they're doing it very well so far, and there's another one coming in now from Guest. It's just about dealt with, but only as far as Holmes, who hit it really well on the half volley. Noah Holmes, if you don't mind.
Didn't bring it down too well, but managed to get some power on it. And Sousa had it covered in the end.
Just for a second from my position there, I thought Sousa might have been scrambling, but...
They're under siege at the moment, Heidelberg.
They're battening down the hatches, but they're going to use their favourite form of attack, which is possession of the football, and that's a good switch of play as well from Rafi. Oh, it's just about kept in by McGowan, but he couldn't control it on the slippery deck.
Great ball in dry conditions, but you just always knew that ball was going to skid off the surface.
I think it almost gained speed after it landed and bounced.
You said Friday night football, Steve, last time for the home and away season for 2025.
And what better place to be than out at Olympic Village here tonight? Apologies, we're not coming to you from the broadcast stand that was popped up for the Australia Cup, but there's some issues with some moisture getting through. Heavy rain falling here earlier in the evening. Ball forward by Ajak Dayu, bounces off Collins. Second ball picked up by Guest. Looking for Juradovic, who doesn't quite time his run. Collins wasn't taking any chances. So Heidelberg trying to get the ball going their way quickly, but wow, the Cannons just as quickly, every time they win the ball back, they're breaking in the wide areas. Just lacking the finishing touch.
So Oakleigh's really dominating the midfield at the moment as well. It's Heidelberg's turning over possession consistently in the middle of the park.
You can see Joe Guest, he's working really hard in there, and you combine his work rate with Gilp and Holmes in there as well. It's the Heidelberg midfielders having their work cut out, especially without Anthony Lesiotis in there, who's been amazing for them this season.
Got a feel for the Oakleigh kit man after a night like this, an all-white kit.
That's the worst possible outfit that you could turn out in.
It's going to take about 2 or 3 cycles with that vanish stain remover, I reckon.
Some good content ideas for the social pages as it comes into the centre of the 6-yard box. It's going to be turned home, and the goal's given. Bourgeois wheeling away in celebration, and Heidelberg take the lead. Well, it's against the run of play in the start of the first half. The home fans don't mind, and they're off the mark against the Cannons here are the Burgers.
Didn't handle that corner kick too well, Oakleigh. Noah Holmes just didn't know where the ball was when it came off the back of his head, and had a couple of chances to clear their lines. But the Raging Bull was onto it. He knew where he was and made no mistake, hitting it into the back of the net.
And that's why he's so good, isn't it? He pounced on that loose ball, put his right foot through it, found the back of the net down there at the Southern Road end. That's why they're so dangerous. They're under the cosh there, Johnny A side, and Oakleigh were looking the goods in that first 10 minutes or 9 minutes of the second half. And, well, it only results in Heidelberg taking the lead.
I knew when I said that he was unsighted in the first half that he was just going to pop up and score in the second half. That's what he does, you know. Can have a quiet game, but so deadly inside that penalty area. They're so quick to react to that loose ball. Just felt like Noah Holmes had to do better in that situation. Completely lost his bearings.
They've defended those situations really well so far for me as Oakleigh Cannons tonight. And that ball, it's just bobbling around on the edge of the 6-yard box. And, of course, it just presented the opportunity for the raging ball. Here's the cross from Guest. Knotted down by Kingsley Sinclair, but it's all yellow shirts there. Well, turned over quickly. Holmes cuts inside. Kasumovic onto his preferred right. Really good job by Rafi to block the attempt. It could have been testing out Yaron Souza there had he not intervened.
It's had a poor start to the second half, Rafi. He's lost the ball a few times now in dangerous areas. Just needs to keep it simple. Especially in these conditions, you don't need to overcomplicate your passes.
Well, Heidelberg win the free kick, and they're going to take their time over this one. Asai Yokokawa copping one in the solar plexus is just taking a moment to get back up onto his feet. Jordan Hall in NPL Victoria Game 100, judged as the offender.
Well, this is where Heidelberg's been so good all season. When they get that 1-0 lead, they're able to just lock the game down and play it on their terms.
It's a goal that Oakleigh will really rue, conceding such a fundamental sort of error, really, to present the opportunity to Bourgeois.
They're the goals you don't want to concede against these better teams, you know, preventable situations. Fair enough if they pick you apart or a great strike or something like that, but call from a set piece in that fashion, they'll be disappointed with that, especially Oakleigh, you know, the way they usually defend those kind of situations.
It's another offside going against the Cannons. They've had a couple since halftime.
I wonder if that might prompt Chris Taylor to look at Alex Salmon, probably come and gone a little bit earlier than he probably anticipated. It's a tricky one with Salmon. You can't. You've got to play very carefully with him. He's been in and out with injury all season, and you know we know Oakleigh's results without him have been poor. Getting to the business end of the season now.
Well, he's a player that the Cannons are going to need for finals football if they want to go all the way in September. Not too much movement over there on the Cannons bench at the moment, though. See the Heidelberg subs are warming up over there on the left-hand side of this pitch. So those outfield options available for Chris Taylor: Jacob Trapp, Alex Salmon, Campbell Strong, Thomas Alessandrados, the mid-season signing from Port Melbourne. Also the youngster Roy Gregory, 20-year-old. Here's Sinclair. Boyce providing the overlap. Looking for Guest on the outside of the foot pass. And is there a touch from Lethlean? There was, so an opportunity for the corner kick here. Guest going over to take.
I felt like Lethlean could have just shielded that out for a goal kick. Probably unnecessary to get a foot on that. I know Joe Guest was right up him, but the ball was travelling out.
It did seem an unusually easy giveaway, going to the lengths that players go these days to avoid conceding a corner. And Guest with the in-swinger as well. This could be dangerous. Given as a handball, and it was almost shades of the moment that led to the Bourgeois goal there. Ball just landing on the edge of the 6-yard box and no one able to clear it, but Ugo Arslan coming to the assistance of Heidelberg and awarding the free kick for an Oakleigh handball.
And a few active players asking the question for a penalty for a handball there.
And there were so many players in there, really couldn't tell whose arm it even came off. It may have been, perhaps it was Gerardovic, not too sure. Now, the Oakleigh subs are warming up now over near the players' race behind Yaron Souza's goal, so there could be some movement from Chris Taylor. He only made 2 slubs in their match 2 weeks ago. Will he make some more tonight, perhaps? He's not known for swinging the changes too often. Turnover here. Theodoropoulos, Rafi, Fulton. Very congested part of the field there. They're going to try and go back and switch the play. Here's Collins. Oakleigh Cannons, really good performance in this second half, but see themselves a goal down. Although, last time these sides met, it was the team that scored first not going on to pick up any points. And Guest opened the scoring for the Cannons back in May when they met at Jack Edwards.
It's so disheartening for Oakleigh. It was a really positive start to that second half, and then it's really against the run of play to concede the opening goal of the game.
Yes, it's a bit of a concede from a bit of a nothing set piece, really. They'll when they analyse the game back. Not much they can do about it now, rather than go back and try and cancel it out. Dench's ball forward. Flag stays down for Joe Guest. He's trying to play the ball inside for Kasumovic. Couldn't quite find him. Here's Adara. Turns on a sixpence. Left lean. So over the hour gone, we still await those changes. We await the injection of Alex Salmon into the game to see if he can change something here for Chris Taylor's side. Oh, that one's overhit by Jack Dayu as he hangs his head. Got a good piece of it.
Did not get that right at all, did he? So he's been having a good game tonight, though. He's really dealt with Bourgeois really well, especially in those 1v1 duels. I suppose he's not out there for his passing prowess.
His positioning has been spot on, nonetheless, tonight. Taken quickly, the free kick is here by the Cannons. Out wide is Dench, getting forward from left back. McGilp, clever little header by Guest. Guest looking for options. Kasumovic has drifted inboard. Oh, and he just shows too much of the ball to the Heidelberg defence. Here's Juarch, the goal scorer. Flicked on by Yokokawa. He's got Juarch running shotgun, but it's picked up by Dench. And this time Kasumovic is offside. So it's a flurry of offsides by Oakleigh in the second half, and that's going to frustrate Chris Taylor.
Very frustrating. Just all 3 of those offsides in the past 5 minutes has been down to laziness, really, not being aware of where you are, where the defensive line of Heidelberg is.
Now, around the grounds, Preston Lions have taken the lead over at Green Gully, so it sees them closing the gap on Oakleigh Cannons, sitting in 5th place, back to 1 point now. So,
and Oakleigh they've got a difficult game next week. They're at home to South Melbourne. I'm sure South Melbourne won't roll over in that final day of the season.
Yeah, South with nothing to lose.
Preston at home to Dandenong Thunder on the final day. That's no easy game either.
That is a spicy one between two sides that will play finals football. Dandenong Thunder, a side that weren't tipped for great things in 2025, have had an outstanding season.
But I don't think you can underestimate how important that 4th place on the table is. You know, by the looks of it, it'll be an Oakleigh v Preston game in that first week of the finals, but whether it's a BT Connor or Jack Edwards will make the world of difference to both sides, really. Preston went to Jack Edwards and got smashed 4-0, and on the first time around the BT Connor, they were very, very good that night. And Oakleigh's away form has been horrible in the second half of the season.
Yeah, no doubt that Oakleigh will be hoping that Green Gully can turn that game around, or maybe they can score a goal themselves here. Kasumovic doing the business and winning the corner kick.
Looks like a triple change coming for Oakleigh. It's a
collector's item.
Yeah. Jeez. Frame this moment.
We got Raman behind the camera tonight. Zoom right in and get a tight shot of that one. In comes the corner. Ajak Dayu. Oh, the shot's blocked on the second attempt. It was Dench's attempt that was blocked. And actually, it's out of play for a cannon's throw. And we're going to see that triple change taking place now. So that's the end of the shift for Noah Holmes, who's going to be replaced by Thomas Alice Andrados, who has got 6 goals in NPL Victoria this season, 5 of them with Port Melbourne, 1 of them since coming across to the Cannons. He wears the number 23 jersey. Keep an eye on him.
Cam McGilp off as well, so that whole midfield pairing gone.
And the other one going off is Adam Djuradovic, who's been operating as the striker.
Campbell Strong, who came on for McGilp. And the man is back, Alex Salmon.
So just wonder if McGilp's maybe still nursing a bit of an injury, or just being cautious with his return as well, just managing the minutes. Campbell Strong, the 23-year-old New Zealander, getting an opportunity in the centre of the park. But we'll keep a close eye on Alex Salmon here. He looked enthusiastic in the halftime interval when he was out there warming up. Here's the shot from Sinclair. Saved Souza, and saved again by Souza from Guest.
Yes, that's great goalkeeping from Souza, in particular that follow-up save. The ability to get up so quickly and the way he positioned his body to save that, it's excellent goalkeeping.
Well, it was almost an instant impact after the triple substitution by Chris Taylor, but Souza having other ideas. That attempt from outside the box from Sinclair was a good one. Guest was quick to follow up at the back post. Hall was lurking. And it's kept in play here by Alessandrados, the substitute. Sinclair's got space. Oh, he's overhit that one. Maybe a touch. It hangs in the air. Headed by Lethlean. Picked up by Guest. Oakleigh looking ominous at the moment. Away by McGowan. Out in front of Jouart, who's got to keep it in play. He hasn't got a lot of allies. Theodoropoulos was galloping forward from the fullback position. Plenty of space here for Akil Raffi, and now Fulton. Well, this game's just got a little bit of a buzz to it since that triple change by Chris Taylor. And you can see the counter change is being prepared over there by John Anastasiadis now.
And so one of those changes for Oakleigh would have been to be able to get Kingsley Sinclair into the middle of the park. He was doing okay out wide, and we know that's his preferred position, but I think he just adds a little bit more drive in the middle of the park in an attacking sense for Oakleigh when he's sitting in that midfield role.
So the midfield double pivot now is Strong and Sinclair for Chris Taylor. Ball into the box here. Adaris looking for his first goal in season 2025. He thought he had it last week. McGowan. Nice little turn by Adara, who looks in the mood at the moment. He's got Dench to beat. Well played by Matthew Dench, winning the ball back. And ahead of him is Kasumovic, who's ready to zoom down the touchline here. And he's been fouled. And we're going to see the first yellow card of the evening. And it's out of the pocket for Akil Raffi.
It's probably the easiest yellow card Arsenal will have to give in his refereeing career. I think Raffi knew exactly what he was doing in that situation.
So the double change is ready to go. And it's the end of the shift for Anthony Theodoropoulos. He's replaced by Chokdow. Chokdow, who started as the number 10 on Tuesday night against the Western Sydney Wanderers. Another player coming off is Max Pacetto. Looks like it's Johnny Apostolopoulos with the flowing locks out there, Mark.
Had a really good game on Tuesday night against West Sydney. He was central defender that night. He was really, really good.
A real feather in his cap against an A-League opponent as well, nonetheless. I feel like that result on Tuesday shows you that the gap is narrowing every year between these sides in the professional and the semi-professional world.
Oh, it's particular Heidelberg, with the level of A-League experience they've got in their squad. They've got a number of players that have been in the system.
I guess with the free kick, they're all lined up about 15 yards out from Yaron Sosa's goal. Can he put this ball into the corridor of uncertainty? It's headed over the top, and it's adjudged to have come off a cannon's head, so it'll be a goal kick.
That was a really good delivery from Joe Guest. His last few corners have been a bit average, but that was the one. You're right, though, about him playing injured. I think the last month he really hasn't been at his best. He's been so good all season, but the past month he's probably tapered off a bit. And without Salmon there as well, and Joe Guest a little bit down and not fully fit, you can see the difference when those two aren't firing.
Now, you just wonder if, and it's maybe a big if you can have Alex Salmon, Joe Guest, Cam McGill all 100% fit come September. Does that put the reigning champions in the mix?
Oh, definitely. When they're all fit, they're a different team. And they're so crucial. They don't have the depth that they've had over the recent years when they've had success. It's a little bit more of a lighter squad this season. And then when they're not fully fit, the big stars, it's difficult for them to get results. So they've lost a number of games this season that they probably weren't expecting to lose. But Chris Taylor is the man built for finals football.
The other disappointment this season as well being the injury to Joe Knowles. His return to the club had things looking pretty rosy in the opening weeks of the season.
Yeah, you tend to forget about those guys that suffer long-term injuries.
Guess going hammer and tong, trying to slide in and put pressure on Yaron Sosa.
Just a bit of more advice to the Oakleigh kit man, just throw those Joe Guest shorts in the bin, mate. You ain't watching those ones after that slide.
Well, we're requesting, if the Oakleigh Cannon social media team is tuning in, we want a laundry segment this week to go up on the socials. Put that one up on the stories.
I'm telling you, Steve, it's the worst feeling in the world when you see conditions like this and you're wearing your all-white kit.
Especially if you're playing for your amateur team and it's your turn on the roster. Guest's corner hangs in the air. Dow was in a bit of a disagreement with Salmon about who was the player who should have been flying for that ball. One behind the ball still for Heidelberg. Over the top is the ball for Brodie Boyce. It's going to be escorted over the line just about by Lefley. Boyce kept it in play.
That was really clever from Kingsley Sinclair. Just waited for Boyce to make that late run that Heidelberg really didn't track.
Well, there's plenty of intensity out there after the subs, the triple sub by Chris Taylor and the double change as well by John Anastasiadis. Rafi's header. How to play. You can see the pitch is just getting churned up a little bit. It's looking a little bit more less like Royal Ascot and maybe a bit more like a cow paddock. Shockdow playing quickly. Oh, he's put his foot through that one as well. Well, he's done that a couple of times, one to each side of the pitch. He nearly put a hole in the sternum of Asad Kasumovic there.
That's not good. He's done it a couple of times now. Luckily that over hit the going out for throw-ins and not turning over possession.
I thought it might have gone into the Darravin Creek, that one. It had that much gusto on it. Header by Fulton is a good one. It finds Shockdow. Full of running as he's come off the bench. Drills in the cross to Bull Juarch. Good first touch. Juarch over the crossbar. Oh, what a goal that would have been. Really good first touch. And And the shot wasn't quite equal to it from Bourgeois, looking for his second of the evening.
It's a good display of why he's the best striker in the competition, Steve. You'd think he'd had no chance there with those long legs, just able to bring that ball down so close to his body, and the quick footwork. Really good defending from Oakleigh.
What a touch that was. Just salivating looking at that one on the replay. Maybe George Ott's about the only other striker in this competition that could have controlled that ball. So it's going to be the substitute Choctaw with the corner kick. Ryan Lethlean and Co at the back post. At the near post, though, was Yokokawa nearly catching the Oakleigh Cannons defence off guard. Clever ball in by Choctaw.
It's a really clever set-piece routine, really. Yokokawa able to get away and get the free header. Would have been some goal if he was able to steer that into the corner of the net.
He's contorting the neck muscles there was the Japanese midfielder. Headed by Johnny Apostolopoulos. Moshorski. Not enough room there for Ajak Dayu, and there could be a problem here because the throw-in's taken quickly. Bourgeois, and he had Choctaw in the middle, and then the follow-up was from Aidara, who's still chasing that elusive first goal of 2025 that just won't fall his way.
Just lost his footing at the wrong time. It was really clever from Heidelberg to take that quick throw in. How's the pressure from Bourgeois? Still, 75 minutes into the game, still able to chase down the goalkeeper, put pressure on him to turn the ball over. Nearly got rewarded for it.
Choctaw. Oh, he maybe held on the ball a little bit too long. Souza out off his line. Reading the game so well, Aaron Souza there.
He read that really well. Wouldn't have seen that on camera, how he positioned his body.
It's like he was already coming before the ball was even kicked.
Anticipated that turnover. Poor decision making there from Choctaw. Really needed to play that pass out wide.
He had Yokokawa available.
He was making a good run.
Yeah. Here's Hall's ball for Boyce. Left lane does the job. It's a little agricultural, but they all work. We've got about 16 ball kids on the sidelines here. Plenty of enthusiasm, plenty of gumboots. And they're needed tonight.
They all managed to stay on their feet.
I know.
I was waiting for one of them to go down.
I'm sure I would have been in the power slide mode if I had have been chasing the ball over there on that sandy bit of turf. This is good play from Oakleigh. Kasumovic just had his pocket picked on the edge of the area as he was motoring ahead.
It's been really good tonight, McGowan. Both in attack and defence. It's good defending there from him.
I thought my eyes were deceiving me a couple of weeks ago when we saw McGowan in central defence, but that was the position where he was put. The winger, I haven't seen a winger play central defence at any time in my life, I don't think. After the sending off of Ben Collins when there was no other defenders there to line up alongside Ryan Lethlean.
Yeah, and he did well when he was thrusted into that position.
He's obviously done it in training a little bit, and Johnny A knew that that was the right move to make. I can only imagine, anyway. You say that Oakleigh haven't got the ball to the feet of Alex Salmon as much as they might have liked since his injection into the game.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Maybe the first couple of minutes when he came onto the pitch, he was looking a little bit dangerous getting in behind, but Oakleigh's dealt with that triple change from Oakleigh quite well.
It feels like it's Oakleigh's turn to have a little bit of possession and try and break down the opponent. Here's Kasumovic, keeps his feet, only just. First time ball by Guest is a beauty. It's going to be kept in play over here on the far side. And it's going to be Guest with the shot. Good save, Souza at full stretch. from outside the area, the first time shot. And it was Boyce on the follow-up. His crosses sliced behind by Rafi. A good moment for this Oakleigh Cannon side.
Another great save from Souza. Probably the one man in NPL Victoria there you don't want the ball to fall to on the edge of the area with a bit of space. Is Joe Guest hit that so well, but again, Souza, great positioning.
In comes the corner. Lining up for it. Oakleigh appealing for another one. They're going to get the corner from the Darabin Creek side this time. It'd be good value for an equaliser if they're able to get one. Diving header away by Fulton. Good distance on it as well. Oh, big collision there. Alessandrados just about cleaned up by Choctaw, the two substitutes.
It's lucky that Choctaw backed out of that in the last second. He was about to go full tilt into that challenge.
Almost the full Dermot Burton style shirt front for a second there. Fulton plays it forward, looking for Paul Jouach. Can't quite find him. So we are inside the last 10 minutes here at Olympic Village. On a wet deck after a busy week for Heidelberg.
Well, they made just the two changes as well, Heidelberg. I would have expected them to empty their bench tonight, but I suppose another 10 minutes isn't really going to hurt them, is it?
As they get ready for their next match on Tuesday, where they play in the Australian Cup quarter-final.
So they will start that game as favourites after Wellington's showing against Nunawading last week.
Yeah, it wasn't an impressive one, and plenty of frequent flyer miles for the New Zealand side as well, having to come out and back a few times to Victoria now. Maybe they could have just stayed out here and enjoyed this wonderful weather that we've had today in Melbourne.
They would have been in shorts and a t-shirt, those Kiwis.
Especially yesterday.
Oakleigh really need to start going for it, taking a few more risks going forward. Start throwing numbers forward. And Preston still 1-0 up.
Well, here's the chance, McGowan, who's had the chance to play the full 90 today. Adara, urged to shoot by the home fans. McGowan appeals for offside against Yokokawa. Flag stays down. Header away by Boyce. Alessandrados' touches straight to Fulton. He butters up and blocks the attempted through ball. Souza, a little bit more sweeper keeper for him. He's enjoyed coming off his line tonight, it looks like. We might even get the goalkeepers in the votes tonight, Mark.
Yeah, they've both been impressive tonight.
Jack Mashorski with the penalty save from Buljarach in the first half. If you missed that one of the top saves from a penalty kick that you'll see at this level. Certainly wasn't hit poorly at all. Kasumovic, Sinclair, and now Boyce just trying to find a way through his guest. Alessandrados with the curler, and again well down with Souza. He may have seen that one quite late.
We've seen that very late. It's a great strike. Again, his positioning in that 6-yard box is exceptional, Aaron Souza. Reads the play so well, gets his body into the right position, so he's able to make those type of saves. You know, they might look like routine saves, but I tell you what, a lot of goalkeepers in this league wouldn't position themselves the way he does.
Well, they've only conceded 22 goals in their 25 games that they've played in the league this season, and no doubt he's a massive part of that. He's chopped out. Can he seal it here? It's the curler. It's always going wide, though. The man who can hit them like a tracer bullet is just about to try and seal Heidelberg's place in the inaugural Australian Championship, which they will do with the win here.
So that's the difference in goalkeeping there, Steve. Mashorski, he should have come out for that, should have read that pass, thought about it, hesitated, went back. Fortunate for him, the ball didn't hit the target.
Alessandratos sees his attempt blocked. Alex Salmon with the involvement. Alessandratos. Curler away by Collins. Forward by McGowan. It's all white shirts back there. Hall and Boyce. Approaching the last 5 minutes here at the Village. Sinclair, Boyce, those two combining. Once again, Guest. Salmon just dropping out of that front line for a moment to try and manufacture something, but he manufactures a shot that's over Yaron Souza's crossbar.
I think they've stepped it up another gear, Oakleigh, in the last couple of minutes. Heidelberg just dropping a little bit deeper, which they've got to be cautious of.
Yeah, will the fatigue start to kick in now for this Heidelberg side, who certainly have an excuse for being absolutely dog-tired. 3 games in the space of 7 days. Collins' clearance was a bit of a tired one. Here's Kasumovic. And now Guest, looking to get the low ball in for Salmon. Tries to take on Ben Collins. And the Heidelberg captain was well and truly more than equal to the challenge.
Superb defending again from Ben Collins.
Kasumovic cuts inside, looking for options, scanning, can't see anything he likes. Dench. Ball eventually comes in. Salmon trying to take it on the chest. He was being worn by like a glove by that man you just mentioned, Ben Collins. Well, they turned it over here. Choctaw gets it out of his feet and tries to feed it out in front of the raging Bull, who was charging forward, but he was never going to get on the end of that pass.
The pass was never on, especially in these conditions. Even if he managed to hit it the way he wanted to, it was just going to skid off the ground.
Salmon the target of that one, but it's easily fielded by Souza again, who's had a really good last 10 or 15 minutes here.
It's really composed in those situations too, Souza makes up his mind, goes for it, doesn't hesitate, doesn't think twice about it.
The defensive line for Heidelberg does its job this time. Offside's the call, and they're going to make some changes here. I said they've made 2 changes already. The triple sub is incoming. 2-metre Peter is ready to be deployed.
I like that one, Steve.
Now, by my numbers, to be fooling anyone, he's not quite 200 centimetres, but he's in the mid 190s.
It's a handy sub to have up your sleeve, Peter Claassen, because now, especially when the game's turning into the way it is, it's an easy outlet to knock it long and someone to bring it down.
And that's what he gives you. So going off is Fulton, Raffi and Juarch. Coming on is Claassen. Dalibor Markovic, who gets some minutes after being left out of the matchday squad altogether of late, especially in games where they've been missing fullbacks, so he gets a chance at left back. And Ethan Sardellis appears to be out there in midfield as well. Here is that man, Peter Claassen. Couldn't quite find any of his allies in the penalty area there.
Just took one touch too many. Just need to pull the trigger just that step before.
So what have Oakleigh got up their sleeve? Good sliding in there from Johnny Apostolopoulos. Still time here for Oakleigh to pull a goal back. They just about deserve it for the effort that they put in tonight. There's Boyce, all behind the ball for the Burgers. Now Guest. And it's a decent ball. Alessandratos, it was blocked by that wall of yellow shirts who are sitting quite deep, not very far, only a few metres in front of Yaron Souza is that defensive line now. As you mentioned, Mark, they're dropping off and off. Here's Salmon, Alex Salmon Can he turn in the penalty area? Tees up Guest, blocked by Lethlean, blocked and controlled and cleared by Lethlean as well, if you don't mind. Picked up by Dench, Alessandratos, and now Hall. It's a touch for Markovic, the sub. Sliding in was Choctaw. He does pretty well. Kasimovic is scrapping for it with him. He's got Boyce in support. Gets in the first time ball. It's away by Sardalis. There's space for the cross here from Boyce. Gets it in again. They're asking some questions. Here's Campbell strong. Oh, and he's found the back of the net. Oh, the New Zealander comes up trumps just when the Cannons needed someone to step up. Oh, my word. Campbell strong. Take a bow.
What a finish, especially with the way the game was going. There's a couple of warning signs in the last few minutes of Heidelberg, but not much you could do about that. Just a fantastic strike from Campbell Strong. Thought Heidelberg had dealt with it. He hit that perfectly. So's a no chance. It's just when they looked like they were running out of ideas. It's a crucial equaliser for Oakleigh.
Took it down the chest so well as well. Maybe a quick reply here, Yokokawa. Well, the Avondale fans who are tuning in, they'll be all smiles with that goal going in.
Yeah, that's a big blow for Heidelberg.
Heidelberg have got that easy game next week in Port Melbourne, you'd think, so they need to get the... they could get the goal difference in that game too, but no good if they don't get the 3 points tonight.
100%. 4 minutes of stoppage time went up as Campbell Strong hit that ball for the equaliser.
Salmon giving chase. Crosses the byline. It's going to be a goal kick, so a bit of urgency here for Heidelberg. All of those changes that Heidelberg made, obviously good to give some minutes to other players, and they've played so many matches. A little bit unsettling, perhaps, making those 5 changes late in the game.
I don't think they would have contributed to just the great finish. Not keeping that out. Campbell Strong hit that perfectly well. Just a bitter blow for Heidelberg. Another late goal to concede. It's got to start taking a psychological effect on them. Been so good all season at keeping clean sheets and being defensively strong.
Campbell Strong with a sensational goal for his first NPL Victoria goal, mind you, as well, for the 23-year-old. One of many players to play for Eastern Suburbs in Auckland before coming over to play in NPL Victoria. It's a well-travelled path.
It's nice in my happy hunting ground as a recruiter.
Spent some time in the college system too, with the Seattle Redhawks.
It's a powerhouse of world football there.
Just what a hit, though, to score your first goal in the competition in that fashion at that time in the game. Absolutely fantastic stuff by the New Zealander. Could there be a sting in the tail for one of these teams? Away by Markovic. A little knockdown by Klaassen. Aidara's ball is effective to find Yokokawa. Klaassen holding off Hall. This is Peter Klaassen. Well done, Jordan Hall. A man in NPL Victoria game number 100. Concedes the corner kick. Sosa looking to come up for...
Well, draw doesn't really do him any favours, Heidelberg.
Yeah, that's arguably it's needed. He's not too happy as well. He's been sent back into his own half. In it comes. It's away by Hall. This is Sardalis, the substitute. Can he get a ball into the back post area? McGowan is there. Good first touch required. Dow. And Sardalis urged to shoot by the home fans. He goes the dink, but there's no one at home at the back post. And that's going to be it. It's going to be a 1-1 draw in Friday night football. That late goal by Campbell Strong, cancelling out Bourgeois Archer's goal earlier in the second half. And Heidelberg United's quest for the Premier's plate, well, it could almost be dead and buried by tomorrow afternoon when Avondale take the field against none other than Port Melbourne.
Disappointing result for Heidelberg. You feel like Oakleigh just got out of jail in the end. Heidelberg was in control of that second half, but a great strike from Campbell Strong gets them a point. Probably doesn't do either side any favours. Oakleigh really needed the 3 points tonight, but as did Heidelberg. So a point does nothing for either side, but all to play for going into the final round of the season now.
That's it. Apologies, I should say. Avondale playing South Melbourne on Sunday. Now, well, I guess Heidelberg fans will be turning up and cheering for South Melbourne on Sunday, which is the opposite of what they were doing last Saturday. So, look, maybe South, get a result in that one, and then we see what happens. But yeah, they may have potentially just kissed goodbye to the Premier's plate with that goal going in. Sosa had been so good in those final moments too, but as you said, Mark, there was no stopping that shot by Campbell Strong right on the start of the stoppage time, 91st minute, took it down the chest and fired from just outside the edge of the area, coming on as a sub, the central midfielder, scoring his first goal in NPL Victoria. What a way to do it. Yeah,
no better way to score your first goal than in that fashion. Oakland really struggled to create any real chances after that, probably opening 5-10 minutes of that second half. But, the one chance that probably was the hardest to score, they scored and got themselves a point.
That's it. So Oakleigh, like we were saying, they probably deserved something out of that game. They would be ruining how they conceded that goal to Bourgeois, not really dealing with the set piece very well, something that they normally do pride themselves on doing. But presenting the chance to Bourgeois. A quick look around the grounds. Green Gully still trailing by 1-0 against the Preston Lions, and also Heidelberg United, Oakleigh Cannons finishing 1-1. Over at Naciol Stadium, Hume City 1, Melbourne Victory 2. That is a full-time score. Actually, in fact, they are all full-time scores now tonight as well. So there you go. The cat amongst the pigeons a little bit there with Melbourne Victory getting the 3 points. And, of course, that big relegation 6-pointer coming tomorrow at 3:15 at Paisley Park. Altona Magic and Port Melbourne. How do you see that one going, Mark?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I think a point will do for Altona to relegate those 3 teams. So I'm sure, they've got a number of 0-0 draws this season. I'm sure they'll be setting up to do that. And it's a real interesting contest tomorrow.
So there you go. Melbourne Victory going within 3 points. They move on to 18 points. So they're within 3 points of Altona Magic. Altona with, of course, that game in hand tomorrow. Port Melbourne could jump up onto 19 points if they can win that one against Altona Magic tomorrow. Really good round of football as well. Dandenong City and the Melbourne Knights. That one at 4 o'clock on tomorrow afternoon as well. As we mentioned, South Melbourne and Avondale, 5 o'clock on Sunday. That concurrent match with St Albans and Dandy Thunder. Dandy Thunder for a win on the road in that one, do you think, Mark, or St Albans at home?
Oh, I think Dandy Thunder too strong, really. They'll get the points there. But the Avondale South game is going to be really interesting, in particular for Heidelberg watching on. They lost to South at Lakeside in that Doherty Cup semi-final a few weeks ago. So still all to play for Heidelberg. They have returned to the top of the table with a point. So they'll be watching that game closely on Sunday afternoon.
Absolutely. We'll be watching that one closely as well. Looking forward to catching that on the NPL Victoria live stream. And, of course, Heidelberg United, their final match is away at Port Melbourne next Saturday at 3 o'clock. All the concurrent kickoffs, 7 games, all at the same time. Oakleigh Cannons and South Melbourne, as you mentioned earlier, Mark. Oakleigh Cannons haven't won away since they beat South Melbourne 13 rounds ago, back in round 13. Can they do the double over South Melbourne? We'll see. That one is at Jack Edwards Reserve. Let's hope that the new grandstand is open for that one. We'll see. But we will sign off here from Olympic Village. Thank you very much for your company on the NPL Victoria live stream. Thank you, Raman behind the camera. Thanks, Enrique on stats. And a pleasure, as always, working with you, Mark Ivkovic. And, enjoy your weekend, people. Good evening.